In this video, we will see some of the most amazing sacrifices, and sacrifices are exciting moves where players give up on some material to gain a big advantage or checkmate their opponents and win the games. So let's move on to our first game. This is a position, and here white played queen to b2, offering a trade of queens. But this was a big blunder because black have an amazing move to win the game. You can pause the video if you want to find the best move for black here. Here the winning move is the stunning rook to c1, sacrificing the rook. The idea behind this move is that if queen takes, then there is queen takes f2, checkmate. And in this position, if he plays king to g2, then first he can take the queen, and now this rook is overloaded, so he is forced to take the queen, otherwise black will be just up a queen, and then you can take the rook, and black is just up a rook and completely winning. Let's move on to our next game. In this position, as you can see, black's king is stuck and there is a winning move here. You can pause the video to find the best move for white here. Here, checking with the knight doesn't make sense because his king can run away, and if you try to check with the bishop, then he will take with the knight, and if you try to play rook takes c4, then this is just losing because there is no follow-up. Here the best move for white is the stunning rook to a4, attracting this king to move away from the defense of this knight, and after king takes, you can play rook takes c4, checkmate. Let's move on to our next game. Here in this position, it's white to play and win. If you want to find the best move for white here, you can pause the video. Here the winning move is the stunning h6 check, sacrificing this pawn. First, if he tries to move back, then you can play this amazing rook to d8, checkmate. And in this position, if he plays king takes h6, then you can play knight to f6, forking this king and this rook. And after king g7, you can take the rook and you are completely winning. And here if he tries to play king f6, then it's the same knight fork, and after king moves somewhere, you can take the rook and you are winning. Let's move on to our next game. Here in this position, black played rook to c2 check, and now if you try to play king to e1, then he is going to play queen takes g1 check, and after bishop blocks, this will lead to a forced checkmate. Bishop blocks, rook takes, and if you sacrifice the queen, then it's a checkmate. And if you move your king, then this is a checkmate. And here if you try to play king to f1, then he can go queen takes g2 check, king moves, and then queen takes g1 is a checkmate. So here the only winning move is the stunning queen takes c2, sacrificing the queen. And as you can see, here also threatening a backrank checkmate, so he can take the queen, and then you can take his queen, and now this pawn cannot queen, and you will be able to stop it, and you are completely winning. Let's move on to our next game. Here in this position, as you can see, your bishop is under attack and your queen is also under attack. So if you are playing as white, you might think of a logical move like bringing your bishop back, and after he takes, you will recapture and the game will go on. But there is a winning move here. Here the winning move is the stunning queen takes f7 check, and this is also a popular mating pattern because after rook takes, there is rook e8 check, rook blocks, then white can exchange the rooks. Now king is forced to take, and then rook to e8 leads to this amazing checkmate supported by the bishop. Now let's move on to our next game. Here in this position, you are having a knight for a rook, and it's white to play and win. You can pause the video if you want to find the best move for white here. First, if you try queen to g6 check, then he's going to block with the queen, and now this is just a draw. And in this position, if you try to play knight to g6 trying to attack black, then he's going to play queen takes f2 check, and after king h1 he will go queen f1 check, king h2, then rook to f2 is a checkmate. So what's the winning move here? This is also a popular tactical pattern. Here the best move is queen takes f8, taking advantage of this knight, because after king takes there is knight to e6, forking the king and the queen, and after king moves you can take this queen, and now you are completely winning. Let's move on to our next game. Here in this position, as you can see, white's knight is under attack, and there is a way of winning this position without saving your knight. You can pause the video if you want to find the best move for white here. First, if you try to play something like knight to e6 attacking this rook, then he can go rook to f2 forking the king and the bishop, and then he can take the bishop, and now you are losing. And in this position, if you try to play something like knight d7 attacking the rook this way, then it's the same, rook to f2 fork. So the only winning move is the stunning bishop takes g7, forking this king and the rook. But why is this winning here? First, if he tries to move his king, then you can simply take the rook, and after king takes there is knight to e6, forking the king and the rook, and after king f7 don't directly take the rook, because after king takes he is having two pieces for the rook, and white is having a slight advantage because of this pawn, but it might end in a draw. Instead, in this position there is a tactical shot with rook to f1 check, securing this king and the rook. So after he moves his king somewhere, and here you have to be careful, because if you take with the rook, then there is bishop takes, and both of your pieces are under attack and you will lose one of them. Here you have to take with the knight, and you are completely winning. Let's move on to our next game. This is the position, and in this position there is a tactical pattern hidden for black. We can pause the video if you want to find the best move for black here. Here this position seems like quite drawish, but there is a stunning move, queen takes a1, sacrificing the queen. The idea behind this move is that if he tries to take the queen, then there is a simple rook to d1 check, and after rook takes you can just take the rook, and it's a back rank checkmate. So in this position he can try playing queen takes d6, counter attacking this queen, and here you don't have to take this queen, otherwise he is going to take your queen, and this is just a draw. You have to play this Zhuishan, queen takes f1 check, and now after king takes you can take the queen and your upper rook, and completely winning. Let's move on to our next game. Here in this position, after queen to f2 check, white just blocked this check with the rook, and now seems like black cannot do anything, but there is a winning combo here. You can pause the video if you want to find the winning combo for black here. Here the winning move is the stunning queen takes e2, sacrificing this queen, and again this is a common tactical pattern, because after king takes there is knight takes c3 check, forking the king and the queen, and after he moves you can play knight takes a4, and you are just upper rook and completely winning. Let's move on to our last game. This is a position from a game of 2 GMs, and here player playing with white plays an astonishing move which just made his opponent resigned. You can pause the video if you want to find the best move for white here. Here the winning move for white is the stunning rook to c8, sacrificing the rook, and as you can see this queen is now pinned. So if he tries to take with the bishop, then queen takes e8, it's just game over. And if he tries to play rook takes c8, then white is going to take this rook as well. And in this position, opponent with black resigned, because if queen takes c8, then as you can see, this queen was guarding the e7 square. So he's not guarding it any longer. So white can play queen e7 check. And if he tries to play bishop takes c8, then as you saw earlier, taking with the bishop leads to queen takes e8, checkmate. Well, this is not the end. If you want to see some more amazing chess games like these, then you can check out this left playlist. And if you want to learn some chess traps, then you can check out this right playlist. And if you don't want to miss the upcoming videos, then don't forget to subscribe.